Okay, welcome, peace. Before I go on with more of this, I first want to try something, so sorry about that. You're kind of a guinea pig. But I did a little intro earlier as a vector. There's a kind of a newish vector program where it makes you look cartoony. So I wanted to try that for a little bit. I don't think the audio worked, but here it is. I'm talking over top of it. And so that's what I look like if I had my own cartoon, apparently. The lighting isn't the best, so a lot of things are washed out, but that's okay. This is more talking than showing for the most part. When I do show something, I think it'll show up pretty clearly. But what I was saying there is, first and foremost, a big thank you to everybody who subscribed to this channel, watch, and comment, because all that's very supportive. And I'm grateful. I got these notes I'm reading from a little bit. But if you hang around, for those who do act in a supportive manner, later in this video there will be a bestowal of sorts. I'm choosing a different word so this doesn't draw in too many people that aren't really interested in whatever I have to say or I'm doing, but are more interested in getting something for free, if you know what I mean. You probably know the word at that point. So let's go back to me, because there's another peace sign, which means he's about to end and get up. I'll spare you that. So I'm back. So I said that first part, and I want to go on a little bit about new personal goo. I have notes down here too for when I switch over that direction. But kind of amazing to me is that, one, during the pandemic winter, I was able to grow an most excellent beard, which I've never really done before, not to this extent that you can lose your finger in it. But anyway, I'm amazed that I'm old, but I have a girlfriend, Linda. She has 2 dogs. Apparently that's a good combination for love and being happy on a daily basis. Or it has been for me. I'm still amazed, dazed, and confused by all that. There's been less walking for me, but I'm still healthy. And in a lot of ways, I feel a lot better. That probably goes back to the first thing I just said about girlfriend, happy, and all that. And a new morning routine kind of developed sometime for me in February. I believe she started with what she calls analog collage, real world stuff where you glue, you use paper, scissors, and glue. I don't do that. I wouldn't mind doing that, but I use kind of the equivalent, but it's digital. It's an iPad, like an Apple iPad and an Apple Pencil. And I'll get to that later. But that's become a part of my new morning routine, which is doing art. Now, whether people consider collage great art or not, that's up to you. But I've been enjoying it because you start off the day looking, or as they call it in collage, harvesting. You're looking at images. I like to look at art, images. I've been doing that for years. So that, for the most part, has replaced my doodling and writing in a journal. And I don't know, that's just as good, if not better. I don't know. And I got a little quote here where I say, all of this is because I turned right in West Virginia instead of left. But anyway, it seems, then I go on, it seems I spent most of 2020 dazed and confused, meaning I was very surprised by everything that happened in my life. And yes, in the world at large as well, because, oh, what a strange year. And it seems to be continuing. But I wrote most so. I meant to write more so in my personal daily life. Why did I write that? Anyway, I correct as I go. More so. Anyway. Now this is where I can switch to the other screen, so let me put this down and so I can have a free hand, and I'll go away for a bit and we'll see what I've done with my presence on the interwebs, as I call it. Let's see, which one is this? I think it's this one. Here it comes. Hopefully that's readable. I think I can make it bigger, maybe. I'm not sure. There we go. I'm not sure how much bigger I can make it. But what you see is I went ahead and bought, I say bought, I think more like renting it per year, a domain called slipthetrap.com. And yeah, it's .com instead of what it was before. And that's the home page. And you can see my name, my real name down at the bottom there, at least on that screen. And what I had noticed, and I think I haven't looked at this in a long time, but if you go and do a Google search and you're looking for Slip the Trap, I used to not come up until after all this stuff about plumbing. Now I'm only beaten out by, since I was a programmer in the past, that's a slip trap, something you do on an IBM type of computer, not a small one like a mainframe or a mini computer. I think mostly mainframes. You can set a thing to catch what was going on in case you're trying to debug something, basically. So if you just type slip the trap without any quotes around it, I come up third, which I think is pretty good, considering I have very little content, really, just a presence on YouTube. But if you put double quotes around it, look what happens. I come up first, which I guess it pays to find something that's unique. I'm even in Russia. What the heck? I see names there that look familiar. Well, I won't click on that just in case. But let me get rid of this and get rid of this. And now we're back on the newly redesigned homepage. Let me make sure I'm saying all the stuff I wanted to say. I mentioned the domain. It's got a new appearance. It's a bit up to date. Now, the stuff that was there before is still there for anyone who enjoyed doing tarot cards without having a deck. That's still there. This first thing up here, which is just some recent digital artwork and my recent YouTube video about the 1909 art restoration deck. And then a peace sign, enjoy, the usual. But first, let me walk you through the change. When you click on tarot up here, hopefully the cursor's being caught, maybe not. But you can see there's only, what, 2, 4, 5 things across the top. The domain, the home page, Slip the Trap we're on. The tarot page, YouTube goes to my YouTube channel. Artworks goes to Fine Art America or Pixels, same place. And t-shirts go to some t-shirts I have on Amazon. So let's click tarot. And then, you know, the usual thing that's in my about page on YouTube. If you click that first big blue button, that'll take you to my channel on YouTube. But there are, the old stuff is still there. Like if you want to go pull some cards from the original RWS tarot deck, then you click on that and you got shuffle and pull. So you can pull up to 7 cards. Just like that. Shuffle, pull them again. I sometimes just do one every morning, but anyway, let's go back to tarot. And then this is me, a deck I got from my grandmother a long time ago. It was very dirty, bent, ugly. It's in storage, but I took it out and digitized the cards, put them on make playing cards, and these are the images that came back. And you can see it does not have titles and it does not have the numbers. Because I guess she wanted me to stare at the image as it says up there in the little thing, to sit with the cards and focus on the images. I guess that's one way to learn, if one needs to learn. And that's what those look like. Again, you can pull up to 7 cards, shuffle, and do it again. And on the back of that deck that I created on Make Playing Cards, I put like a Zen frog and bug situation. There's a frog on a lily pad and a bug, some sort of insect flying above, and he's wishing, looking, whatever. So those 2 things are still there for those who can't afford a deck or don't want a deck or just want to play around and don't want anything, You don't want to be tracked. You don't want any fancy animations, all that stuff it says there. No spreads, no downloads, no app really. That's just right here on this page. And then there's at the very bottom, there's a little database I made up. It's really just right on the page. It's kind of smart. Some code that just, it's pretending to be a database. It's not. So you could come in here and type Pam asterisk and see all the decks that I own, not all of them in the world, but the ones that I own that I've entered into this little page here. So you take that off and it shows them all again. Or you can just see the Oracle decks I own just by clicking on Oracle decks, or back to just tarot. And there's a lot of them, or all decks. Okay, so that was the tarot page. Let's go to the Slip the Trap home again. And this little top part up here, which I may not keep at the top because the other day they had an outage, so that kind of made the page stick a lot. So I don't know. But anyway, it says this carousel, meaning this thing that you can make go left and right and all that through the images. I'm not sure I like that, but it's okay. And it's free. It's from them. So it kind of does your most recent 10 artworks that you've put on Fine Art America, or a place that's also known as Pixels. And that's all it says there. And I'm mentioning t-shirts on Amazon. And below that is the recent YouTube video, which I won't put this one as a recent, but anyway. And then if we click up here, it'll open a new tab and go to my channel on YouTube. There I am. There it is. And if we click on artworks, it goes to something that Fine Art America gives you, or Pixels, called Slip-the-Trap. And then it puts all your artwork there, kind of in this carousel like thing. It shows your artwork in a frame, on as if it was on a wall in your house, which is kind of cool. I'm not so sure I'm in the commercial selling aspect of all this, but they make things so easy nowadays. It's hard to not just put your stuff out there and share it, even though it's, you know, it's not like I'm Van Gogh or Picasso or whoever. But if you come down, you can just get a quick look at all of them. Right now, I think there's 31. This is from today. I cleaned it up over a course of 2 days. I mean, and that has some resemblance, I think, to a lot of card images I've seen over the year. So she's there holding the sun and the crescent moon and kind of dancing on top of planet Earth. There's some mushrooms and my little signature there. So that's kind of cool looking. So there's that. Take that away. Go back to the home page. Now if I click on t-shirts up here, it will go to Amazon. This is Amazon.com, the same old Amazon. So far I've got 3 t-shirts approved. I kind of like this image, so I did it. This is something that Linda had painted and is letting me use to see how it goes on a t-shirt. And there's another one. You may look at those and decide. They're going to be a part of something I'm going to talk about later, but we'll get to that. And you can make it scroll ahead of time to look at things. I kind of like that one. Like that one. I might change this because I can do my own carousel so it doesn't break like it did the other day. So there's that. Let me make sure I did everything. I think at the end here I say I'm not so commercial, but it's easy to do and a way to share. I think it's important to share your art, or to some people they're sharing their soul, or a part of their soul. And then I say, or so I'm telling myself. But it is easy to do once you get the hang of all these things. So what was I going to do next? I think next we're going to get off of this screen so it goes blank. Yeah, thank you. We're going to go over here to the table, and I'm going to show you a few things over here, because up next is I got my morning journaling is now replaced with talking to Linda and doing digital art. And it's not always talking, but there's a lot of talking. So that's great, I think, so far. No, that's great. Can I stand that up there without you having to stare at it? I think so. Yeah. Maybe zoom in a little to get it out of the picture. There we go. Okay. What you're seeing here is an attempt at a book, because you can, another part of this, which I guess I get to later, is thoughts about doing something like an art book. You saw this picture on the carousel on the web page. And then it would be art over here and writing over here, or writing over here and art over here, whichever way I decide. So that looks pretty cool. And somewhere back here is the book cover. So that's another collage-like piece I did. Some girl, lady swinging between two trees on planet Earth with a sunflower, the moon, the sun. Cool looking. How did it come out on the book cover? Slip the Trap. I'm not sure I would keep that name. Visions Upon Waking. And I got Pushing Pixels, Drinking Coffee. Because that's pretty much what I've been doing and enjoying it. I think they did some of this, and that's cool. So it's kind of cool to see your book, like a real book kind of thing, even though I've got no words in there yet. But anyway, I'll get that out of the way. And here's the device that I've been doing. What am I supposed to do here? It says, talk about collage process. Yes, it's similar in digital world. And it is very similar. Because if you've watched any collage-like videos, they're always talking about just that and the other thing. But they're talking about harvesting images. Like they put them in containers, boxes, baskets, folders, whatever. So you got to look through magazines or collect old books or something that you're pretty sure is copyright free, so you can use them, cut them up. And they cut them up with scissors or X-Acto knife. They do fussy cutting, it's called, where they're really precise. Like they pop off the page because they're cut so exactly. And that same process, for me anyway, seems to be happening when I'm trying to do this similar thing, but on an iPad. And on this iPad, I'll show you in a second, there are places you can go to like Unsplash, Pixabay, Pexels, to get images that are copyright free. There's others as well. But if you're doing it on paper, you kind of have to download, print them, then cut them out. Whereas if you're doing them on here, you just bring the image in and then do the equivalent of cutting and pasting. And then I pick a color for that day. That's how I usually start. Then I would have spent some time before coffee upstairs here looking at the big computer, trying to find some images from those sites or other sites, and then just save them somewhere that I can get at, like the iCloud or something like that. Then I use this to start making the art, and I can show you on here. I don't know how well this is going to show up or how clean it will be if it does show up, but you get yourself one of these if you can. They're expensive, but some people try to make the point that over time they're not expensive because you would have spent all that money on, I don't know what, glue, scissors. I don't know. I'm not sure that's the justification for this. Just whether you want to have a mess around or don't want to have a mess around, it's more like it. But along the bottom here, I don't think I'm giving away anything. There's an app that you can download amazingly for just $10 for a lifetime. Now this is expensive, but this is $10. You get this app called Procreate. You can see the back of a Rider-Waite Smith deck. And then in here somewhere is something called my 75 artworks collages. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that. And there they are, teeny tiny. You can probably barely see them. And that's okay. They're all out there in other places. But you can see I've been busy at it. It's kind of improved, and sometimes like there's a lot of days where you got nothing comes, so you end up with something that looks like this, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's me with stuff over top of me. 4 women in my life and all the children, breaking the chains, tarot cards down here, books, reading, computer. Instead of hands, I got pencils, and on the other arm, I got me running a lot, and there's grandmother and me. But, you know, some days aren't exactly, you don't hit it out of the park. But here's today. It's actually been a couple days on this. If it comes up, I'm not sure how well it'll show. It'll probably be all the wrong colors and all that, but you get an idea. And this is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different layers, I believe. It may not show up that way, but you can see how you put this together. And sometimes there's an order like bottom to top in terms of how they affect each other, because some of this is doing blending. But what I like about this, one of the main reasons I like it, is that you get to use this. You aren't always clicking up here and trying to do like Photoshop things. You actually still get to draw, or in a lot of cases erase, which is the same as drawing in this thing. So that's called Procreate. I think if I go here and hold it down, it'll put up a screen. There you go. I don't know how clear that is. Let's Procreate. Recently, they've been changing it so it does animation, which is kind of cool, but I haven't got that far or into that much. There I am. And then, so that's it for the Procreate. What else was I going to say? I was going to do a demo, but I don't think I'm going to do that. This has probably gotten too long as it is. 23 minutes. So I'll move on. I did mention, I can't show that on here, but I did familiarize myself with a program that I bought a long time ago when I was thinking of doing a book, like a book about yourself kind of thing. But I'm not sure I'll ever get to that. So first, I might, on the new ones, this pencil sticks to it to recharge, which is cool. But anyway, enough of that thing. So this involves some learning of another program which is only available for Apple and a Mac. It's called Vellum. It lets you create books the easy way, I think. It does all this book-like stuff for you that you may or may not care about. I'm sure there are people who prefer to use something like Adobe InDesign or whatever the other thing is for their writing. But a lot of authors might just be into the words and like to write the stories, and then Vellum makes that easy for you because it's going to look good whether you do a Kindle book, KDP, that's what that's referring to, or a print book. So what else do I have? I have been buying less tarot decks over the past year, I guess, but I'm still buying. In fact, I'm waiting on 3 from USGames. I had a little angry face here in my notes, but I am waiting on 3 from USGames. And at this point is the sneaky bit that I was referring to earlier. I want to do a giveaway, which I called a bestowal. But I want to do a giveaway since I'm past 800 and I've been there for quite a while now. And these are the ones I picked. The giveaway will start now. Anybody that leaves a comment on this video saying you want to enter, and the drawing I think will be somewhere near the end of the month. So, but in that time I could come up with other decks because I have them all over the place. But first is the traditional one still in the wrapper that I can send out. called the Rider Tarot by USGames. You know, the yellow tuck box thing, which maybe nobody wants because everybody has. What's next? Then there's which is my recent video, is the 1909 art restoration deck. This is from DriveThruCards. It's basically this deck, but some attempt at the original colors. I don't know how original they are exactly, but you know. So there's those two. I'll put them, stagger them a little. And then there's the 5-cent tarot, but I'm keeping this one. I ended up with 2 of these because I purchased 2, and then the person making them only sent 1. And I said, well, where's my other one? Because it was a gift at the time. It was going to be a gift for somebody. Actually, it's just going to be the giveaway. But they decided to wrap it all up fancy, like it was a gift to, you know, mom or something like that. But so there's that to give away, not this, that, which is the same as this. Anyway, so those 3, and then the one I keep trying to give away, but nobody will take, is the Mystic Dreamer Tarot. Now, you might say, well, I don't want to give you my address and have you do the mail. Also, before I say any of that, let me say that for sending these out, it's probably just the U.S. is my guess. I don't know if it'd be worth even trying to send somewhere else in the world, but so I'm going to say just the U.S. for the decks. But say you don't want a deck. Maybe you looked at my t-shirts and you want one of those, and you have an Amazon wish list. If you send me that, you can remain completely anonymous. Either way, remain completely anonymous and pick a t-shirt. I'll send it to you. It's $20, I think, the ones I'm doing. So you pick the size, color, all that, and then I'll just give it to you. Short of that, I can't think of anything else to give away. Over the course of the next whatever time's left with May 14th, I guess 2 weeks, I might find other decks. If I do, I'll leave a comment on this video about, you know, what else I can give away. But for now, it's just the Mystic Dreamer, the 5-cent tarot, but unopened and wrapped up as a gift, and also not used or really opened, the 1909 art restoration deck, because I got 2 accidentally. Yeah. And then the completely unopened, the Rider Tarot deck. So hopefully this is a departure from the videos I normally do, which, to be quite honest, kind of lack content, but I try to stay true to where I started, which was I wanted to show decks more clearly than other videos I was watching at the time. But now I understand. Let me go back to me for a second. But that's the decks I'm giving away. So to give you quite a long look at that. And then we'll switch back to me. Hello again. And again, thank you to everybody subscribed. I'm not sure the number 800 means all that much. And if you have any questions about my new interweb, my new website, or the art, or art on an iPad or Procreate or the pencil, or any of that, or how I make videos like this, even if you want to know or see a video, which is hard to do, but I guess I could do a video about how to do videos like this, because this is free software I'm using. And you don't have to have Apple. It works just as well on Windows. But I think that was it. I covered everything, I believe. Let me look over the list here for Friday, May 14th, 2021. Hopefully this isn't too boring and doesn't scare people away. But overall, the theme of the video is just kind of update where I am, what I've been doing. I'm enjoying the art. I'm not an artist by any measure. I have 2 sons that are, and very, well, I would say they're very confident in their abilities. I'll say it that way. Whereas I'm not confident, but they've had training. The only thing that I would be guilty possibly of overconfidence if I were doing videos about programming, which I really don't want to get back into. It's kind of boring. I'm retired from that. It can be a bit stressful. Artwork is not as stressful, but let's see, where was I? Girlfriend, covered that. Walking, art in the morning with coffee. Slipthetrap.com, covered that. Artwork, covered that. T-shirts, got it. Don't feel obligated to buy any of this. It's just there. I see it as sharing, but if you do, that's great. If you don't, that's great. I talked about morning journaling, been replaced with Linda, coffee, and art in that order. And I do journaling sometimes. Talk about the collage process. I did a little bit. She, on Linda A. Lavid, has more videos about the actual real world analog collage process. You know, the harvesting, the gluing, the placing, composition, I think it's called. Composition, cutting, gluing, coding, preserving, archiving, all that. I talked about the Apple Pencil, the iPad, the $10 amazing Procreate app. That might be the best $10 ever. Of course, it's on an iPad, which is like $1,300. Showed some artwork briefly. I could show more of that in the future if anyone would like to see that. I talked about a possible book with artwork in it. I think that's a good start for me instead of the pressure of some big story or a memoir. Oh boy. Wow. I talked about tarot decks. I snuck in the giveaway because I'm over 800 subscribers. I said it again. They're going to find me. And I'm willing to send a deck to anyone in the US. And that list of decks that I showed might grow. But if you just want a t-shirt, and there's one coming up, that latest artwork's coming up, that looks like something from an oracle deck or a tarot deck to me. I don't know what I would call it, but I called it entwinement. But it could be a lot of things. A lady holding the sun, the moon, standing on the earth. So you could have a t-shirt, remain anonymous, or a dress and still get a t-shirt, either way. All you have to do is leave a comment to enter, and at the end of the month I'll come up with some bizarre way of drawing, maybe even pieces of paper in a bowl. No, I'm just kidding. But for now, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you've made it this far, and apparently masks are off soon if you've been vaccinated and went in for that. But otherwise, I hope you're doing well. And with that, I will say peace and look forward to you being the winner. Peace.